touch me, just don't touch me. You're ugly, just don't touch me. You're ugly. These women love me, bro. They tryna me. That's the wrong way, the wrong way. Back, yeah, buddy. If you get lucky, it'll get yucky. Little buddy touch me, I can turn auntie into a. I'm in the S5 facing cuffy, cause I can't name that nigga but me, dummy. Tryna slow down my motion. It's ready, you cannot control this. You gonna blow it. Damn, they not important. I'm the one goated. Me, I'm the one goated. Me, I'm the one goated. Me, I'm the one.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And that's not going to be returned, as so many kicking teams elect to do. This is past the landing zone, and we'll start at the 30. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. On the ground, this is Derrick Henry. Now he's free at the 35, and he takes it all the way down to the 22. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. They keep it with Henry on 1st down. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or two. Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Stroud looking to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. That'll give him 8 that time. And now we've got a 3rd and 4. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. From the gun on 3rd down, here's Stroud. It's caught by Sanders. So he stopped for no gain. And it'll be 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
The kick by Pinheiro is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. They'll start on the ground with Benson. Burst by him near the 35. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Another run here with Benson. Pushing his way through. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 15 yards on the play. 1st down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. On the handoff, Benson running right. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 7 yards there and a first down. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
On first down, it's Benson. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
But you look at this defense.
They've been pretty solid against the pass. Toward the middle of the pack, number 14 in the NFL.
And since this is such a good unit at covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
On 3rd down, here's Benson. And he'll be taken down well before the first at about the 36-yard line.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing him further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. And instead of tying it up, they'll remain down by 3. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up. In motion, the tight end. Now Stroud. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a 1st down. Henry out of the pistol. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Derrick Henry with now 15 rushing touchdowns on the year as his guys are able to extend their lead. Eddie Pinheiro now for the extra point. He's got it, and now it's a 10-0 lead here in the opening quarter. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they were winners the last time they took the field, which was 2 weeks ago. They had the open week last week, so this is a squad that should be really refreshed and ready to roll.
I would agree, because when you get that open week after a victory, it does wonders for everyone. Obviously, your body, get a chance to heal up, but your mind as well. You feel good about winning, so now you can get away from it for a few days, put down the playbook, turn off the film. Just be you. Enjoy that time away, and then you come back ready to go.
He'll buy some time right. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
But one of the things we talked about coming into this one is that we were never going to question the fight that he's going to have for all 4 quarters of a game. But ideally, you want him fighting for big plays and first downs early, not fighting just to get back to the line of scrimmage, as we saw right there.
Jackson now. Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. Picked off by Caleb Farley. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. First down carry for Henry.
Down to the 42, second down.
10-0 the score after one on EA's. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they are looking at a second down and 6 coming up. Stroud off the play fake. There's a short throw caught by Sanders. And he'll get about 6 there before he is taken down rather rudely and abruptly. Stroud wants to change it up with an audible. They'll try to run for the first with Henry. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
So it's pretty simple, partner. You pick up a turnover, set you up in excellent field position. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out in this spot.
Yeah, they would have had to settle for a field goal attempt, but now they keep those touchdown hopes alive. And they'll go play action here with Stroud. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is a defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw it through contact and short of the sticks.
Here's Stroud. He'll let this go for the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go to the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. That's pulled in by Brooks. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though. Huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
4th down, Stroud going to try to throw for it. And looking for Higgins, but it is intercepted. And he returns it here to his own 18-yard line. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Now a throw here out wide. He might be looking to throw this again. Trying to get it to Jackson, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Caleb Farley.
And a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line. Hang on here. They declined that. So the yardage will stand.
There has to be confusion coming from the bench to the field about what their intentions are, because you guarantee they want the penalty. Turn down that big yardage gained against them. Instead, they turn down the penalty, and the yardage stands.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Nice chunk of yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on second. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
Stroud working out of the gun. Open man, that's Henry.
And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Stroud to throw it.
And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
On first and goal, they'll try the option left. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be second down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
And now third and goal coming up, the loss on second down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
Well, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is third and goal.
They set up the screen for Henry. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A terrific job there to keep him out of the end zone. And now it'll be fourth and goal. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. The offense is staying out there. Here we go on fourth and goal from the 1. They'll run for it with Henry. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Derrick Henry, his second TD of the game and 16th on the season. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Pinheiro now to add the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
The slot man in motion right. Now Jackson. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Brandon Eccles. And he will bring this across midfield to the 49-yard line. A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go in the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
10th carry now for Derrick Henry. And he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
We're backed up here. Tough spot. Needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Stroud. T. Higgins.
And finally wrestled down at the 11. A big play there just before halftime. And even 40 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Derrick Henry on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead.
Piñeiro's extra point up and good.
And a rout is on here in this first half. Now after the touchdown, here's Piñeiro to kick it off.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive.
I don't think they need to be reminded of the situation here. I mean, the clock is dwindling. 3-score deficit waiting for them at halftime unless they can get something on the board here before.
And got his man complete.
And he's going to be ridden out of bounds down inside the 25.
A big play there just before halftime. 56 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, early they were all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball.
And it's caught. Touchdown. A great effort there. With a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And his guys are able to close that gap just a bit. And that's a critical touchdown. I don't want to be too hyperbolic or whatever, but they needed some points on the board before halftime.
They certainly did, and, you know, it's not going to erase everything that happened in the first half. Look, they got outplayed. There's no question about that. But now it gives them a chance to regroup, feel a little bit better about themselves. And how many games have we done where we've seen everything flip when another half begins? And by the way, say hyperbolic?
I did. Thank you. And they're going to get the 2-point conversion, caught in the end zone. And that cuts the lead a bit further. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive.
And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room. And Stroud now to throw.
Rolling to his right. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Buda Baker with a pick. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Boy, a big play right there. I mean, a touchdown on this drive could have really put some separation on the scoreboard. Instead, it's the defense who scores. And, partner, we got a game again.
And we do have one because of what you just described. A defense that understood what was going on in this game and did something about it. They knew their offense needed some help. They just provided it. They're back in this one.
And this is going to be caught, so they do get it. And the 2 points, now they're back down to a 1-score deficit. So 2 successful 2-point tries now for them.
And you know what it does? It gives you a boost, a huge one for your team because, hey, you're dominating them now. They can't stop you either scoring touchdowns or 2-point conversions. But how about the defense? You don't know what to do at this stage. You can't stop them in any direction.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Well, I guess that answers the question whether or not they want him throwing it again right away after throwing the pick 6 on the previous drive.
Yeah, not something conservative or underneath. Pretty big shot right there.
Get him right back in the saddle and say, go ahead and sling it, big guy.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle.
And this is up and good from Pinheiro.
And that will do it for this first half. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. So this a 2-possession ball game as we get back underway, set for the third quarter. Now a hit and a loose football.
And it looks like the defense has got it.
And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. And that has to be so frustrating because you know that they had something set up there for this first drive of the second half. It wasn't the fumble.
Sometimes no matter what you go over at halftime, no matter what you say, errors will result. And that's exactly what happened here. They were trying to change things from what happened in the first half. Instead, they continue to make mistakes.
Second down and 6 now.
Again, it's Henry. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a third and about 2.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
Powers through, and he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11.
109 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
A handoff running left, Henry. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Toward the pylon, but it's incomplete.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
Now they face a third down and 4 after that incompletion on second down.
Throwing now is Stroud. Touchdown! From 6 yards away, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Now a 2nd and 10. Here's Jackson to throw. He's going to let it go again. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Caleb Farley. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They got the ball now following a big play, keeping the other guys out of the end zone. Now they'll start deep in their own territory, 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Henry will get it. He's been busy today. And he's able to push his way forward somehow for a gain of about 2 yards. 2nd down now.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
Here is Young. Under pressure, and down he goes. The 330-pounder Al Woods brings the boom on the sack. So here's a 3rd and 14. Stroud out of the gun here. Oh, he'll let one go deep for Higgins. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Here's Brian Anger now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. They'll call that a 33-yard punt with no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
In motion, Patterson. Now it's Jackson. Going up top. It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in for the touchdown. A big play there.
64 yards. And his guys are able to cut into that deficit. Here we go now as they will again try for two. Now they'll put a receiver in motion left. And for Jackson, this may be a free play. And this is going to be intercepted.
Tanner Muse with it.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Now the offense will stay out there. They're going to line up and try for two. Jackson here is going to look to throw. And this one incomplete. So they went for the two. They don't get it. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And that one going to hop into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up. Fights through, and now a crease. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. They'll run it again with Henry. He gets away from one.
Still going.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Derrick Henry, 60 yards. And his guys are going to add on to their lead.
Boy, I got to say, I don't know how he made it all the way to the end zone without going down. What a run.
Absolutely incredible that was, because defensively you're taught to break down, wrap up, but in this case he didn't really allow it, and really no one was able to slow him down enough for the extra help to get there. He just kept getting out of tackles all the way downfield and found the end zone.
Piñeiro's extra point up and good.
And that will make this a 19-point game. Now after the touchdown, here's Piñeiro to kick it off. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive.
A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel...
And the defense loses him. It's complete. And touchdown. A great play there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And his guys are able to close that gap just a bit.
Wolf on now for the extra point.
And they're able to cut the deficit to 12. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive.
Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 242 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. They had a chance to limit his yardage, but he was able to fight off that tackle.
So it's not just the responsibility of the guys who missed the tackles along the way. It's all Lebanon defense, able to stop this guy, unable to do it on that play. They've got to find a way. How about his ability to break through and gain that yardage?
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And that's going to leave them with just 1 timeout remaining still in the 3rd quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them. We'll be back.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15.
Stroud sets up the play action. Oh, he'll let one go deep for Higgins. They intercept Stroud again, the 3rd time in this game. Picked up by Jalen Armour-Davis. So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, 3rd quarter, but that not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
And now here is another interception. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49.
I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Able to break through that initial contact and winds up getting about 3 there. It's 2nd down. Play action. Stroud now.
And he can't escape, and down he goes. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down.
Well, they tried to go with a little play action there, but nobody on the defensive side bit.
Yeah, they adjusted in time and in a big way and ultimately got the sack on offense. Sometimes you're running play action just to set up a certain block.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. The 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
So that potentially a turning point here this 3rd quarter. A 2-score lead down to 1 now following the pick 6.
And that had to be the message at halftime for this defense. Delivered and accepted. We need to go out there and make something happen.
Extra point splits the uprights. And that will shave 1 more off this lead.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. So both offenses come to life here in this third quarter as this...
An ideal spot here to get a first down and try to run some more clock. And this is second and less than a yard.
Henry up the middle.
2 yards, good enough for a first.
And this is exactly what you're looking to do offensively. If you can start stringing some runs together like this, you'll keep churning out first downs. And that's going to put you in a great position to carry this one home.
And they'll send the tight end in motion.
Inside handoff, Henry.
To the 43, second down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
This is second and 8. Now to change things up. Stroud will throw it.
Eluding the pressure right. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up. Converged on his man and broke the play up.
Escaping the pressure right. Going deep here for Bryant. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Well, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. Here's Brian Anger now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Taking it about the 16. 7 yards on the return after a punt of 39.
And they will take over first and 10. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Their defense accomplished step one of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a fourth quarter lead. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. Ball on the 30 now. Here's second down and 3. They'll go again with Benson.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here.
4 yards the pickup, first down.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
Here's Jackson. Pressure comes and down he goes.
After the sack, it's second and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
Jackson. And my goodness, another interception.
Picked off by Caleb Farley.
And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
Charles, are you kidding me? 4 interceptions? I mean, that's a good season for a lot of defensive backs.
A lot of reason to get voted into the Pro Bowl. When you have 4 in one game, I mean, talk about a campaign slogan, right? I got 4. Send me to the Pro Bowl, guys. What a game we've experienced watching this one.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line.
Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
He can't get him down. And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line. 9 big yards on the carry there, and it'll be second down. Now a handoff to Henry. A pretty decent gain on the tough run before he's brought down at the 25. 8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
On 3rd down, Henry runs over it. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Derrick Henry, 25 yards to the house. And that interception key as it leads to the touchdown.
So it's a high five for that one. His 5th rushing touchdown of the game as he draws ever nearer to potentially making a run at an NFL record.
Pinheiro now to add the extra point. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off.
And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the 4th quarter. This drive becomes very critical.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
Greedy Williams picks it off.
And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. They'll try and choose some clock with Henry.
And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that 1st down carry.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Higgins goes in motion right.
And they'll fake the jet sweep and run up the middle with Henry to about the 40-yard line.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world.
And now here's another interception.
Picked up by Jalen Armour-Davis.
So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Down Jackson. Oh, that held up there a long time, but it falls innocently and incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. They always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
Picked off by Caleb Farley. Down the right sideline. Shreds him with a stiff arm.
Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it with Henry. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Running left, it's Henry. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Now a 2nd timeout called for by the defense, as the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game.
3rd and goal, Stroud.
He's got it.
Nice completion, nice gain.
Great tackle.
Really good tackle. Kept him in bounds, kept things going. What do you do here?
That's the question. Let's see what they do.
Eddie Pinheiro on now.
From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. The kick by Pinheiro is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Here's 1st and 10. Jackson to throw.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is caught at the 20. And he's able to get this way down deep into enemy territory.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
Jackson.
Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And let's face it, this defense has had its share of struggles all game long, and they know that they can put it all behind them if they defend well here in the 2-minute drill. Excellent coverage right there to force the incompletion.
Jackson.
To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now.
And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. And he is into the end zone for the touchdown. So they still need a miracle with the clock where it's at, but they get one piece to the puzzle done.
Still have hope.
Well, with that touchdown pass, I'm going to bring up a point from earlier in the year. Some of the fans were saying, when do we turn to the rookie? Well, he's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, I love the fact that the fans are bringing that up because I'm not the head coach. Okay, so he's got to deal with it. But I think it's a legitimate question. With the way their season is going, I think now is the time to turn the page and let him get some starts before this season is over.
And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. The risk-reward of the onside kick. When you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything, because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them, and field position leads you to that type of play calling. And whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things, now that they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
Charles, normally when you see a group score this many points, it's a complete blowout. But instead, they needed every single one of those in this close, high-scoring affair.
And, Brandon, I'm still on the edge of my seat after that one, because when you have that much scoring and it still comes down to a one-possession game at the end, that's not something we see very often. And in this case, these offenses, they brought it. The defenses, they're going to need some work going forward.
So for our visitors, their playoff chances take an uptick as they move to 7-4. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the home team here, we'll see how this affects.